This is something that I have been talking about and something that I have wanted since the literal beta of this game, and it's finally here. It also just feels a lot smoother too. Oh my god. Alright, yep, I threw that so hard right there. I can just run around and play the game like it's old school Call of Duty. It's great. I should have collided that. Oh my god. I'm telling you, man, this is the perk to use. Honestly, close enough. Welcome back, Black Ops Cold War. Oh my god. What's going on, guys? It's Rage, and once again, welcome back to some more Black Ops 6. So here for today's update on the 13th, we have the start of the brand new Shadow Hunt event. And with the event, we are finally getting the Slipstream perk, which is something that I truly believe is going to just change the way that Black Ops 6 multiplayer plays. This is something that we really have been needing, again, since the beta, in my opinion. Real quick, as far as the overall event goes, it's a pretty simple challenge-based event where you have to get 50,000 score, 100 elims using a suppressor, win 5 matches, get a kill without taking damage 30 times. Like, all of these challenges right here seem very easy, very straightforward to get, and also with that, we get the new FAL, the new TR2 marksman rifle. But again, the main thing that I wanted to cover here with today's video is the brand new Slipstream perk. Now, if you guys don't know what this is, basically what this perk does is similar to the all-terrain boots last year in Modern Warfare 3. I'll go ahead and put some gameplay up just for comparison's sake here, but basically what the Slipstream perk does is it removes tactical sprint in favor of a faster base sprint speed. With that as well, you also get faster sprint to fire times on your weapons. What the all-terrain boots did last year in Modern Warfare 3 and what Slipstream is going to do here in Black Ops 6 is really make it feel more like classic Call of Duty. Again, the faster base sprint speed like you're using lightweight in a previous Call of Duty game, and again, what's really important is the increased sprint to fire time. It's about 100 milliseconds faster. It makes such a huge difference when you're red gunning, but also especially sniping. Now, I'm personally going to be focusing on this a lot because I snipe a lot, but again, with tac sprinting, the way that rechambering the bolts go with the tac sprint animations, you're always like flinging your gun up in the air. And to me personally, and I would imagine a lot of other snipers, it's very jarring consistently like flinging the gun up in the air while you're rechambering. It just makes it look and feel very wonky, and again, it just brings it back to a more classic feeling Call of Duty. A much more classic feeling in terms of gameplay, so this again is something that I have been really looking forward to. And honestly, the more that I think about it, I really do hope that this just becomes again a staple feature in Call of Duty, that at some point in time, maybe Call of Duty will move away from the whole tac sprinting formula. I'm probably going to end up yapping more about this, but I really do feel like here with Black Ops 6, the way that tac sprinting has been, the way that Omni movement has been, I feel like it's almost kind of like Advanced Warfare in a sense, where it's the first iteration of this new style of movement with Omni movement here specifically, and we'll probably get some adjustments to it in the future games, just because again, I can't really imagine Omni movement being a one and done thing. So what I would like to see is Slipstream just be the base. Again, just kind of bring it back more in line with a more traditional classic Call of Duty feeling for gameplay and for multiplayer. So the way that you unlock the Slipstream perk is actually very easy, very simple. Just get 5 kills using melee weapons. Easy enough. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go ahead, jump straight into a 10v10 match, get 5 melee kills, and hopefully go crazy with this. Alright, hopefully easy enough. We'll just run around, get 5 melee kills real quick. There's 1. Don't run from me. Alright, there's 2. 3. And there's number 5. There we go. Double weapon XP token. There we go. Saboteur. Shadow Hunt event. Okay, awesome. Honestly, there for a second, I thought I was getting trolled with the double weapon XP, but Slipstream. All right, here we go. Raises your base sprint speed at the cost of removing tac sprint. Already, it feels so much better. Oh my goodness. I think that shot right there is, again, a really good explanation of it. Being able to get those quick shots off when you really needed to, not having to worry about coming out of a tac sprint, it's so much better. And now, again, I know I just made the comparison to this, but if you guys were on the channel a lot last year throughout the course of Modern Warfare 3, I made such a big deal with it in that game because one of the biggest complaints about Modern Warfare 3 at the time was that the movement was way too fast for the OG MW2 maps. The way that tac sprinting, slide canceling, obviously the maps that were made and designed in 2009 were not really made for that kind of style. Sure, it would have worked on a map like Wasteland or Underpass or something like that, but typically we're not used to playing the 2009 maps with this really insane cracked out movement. But what the all-terrain boots did was kind of bring that back more in line a little bit. And I really do feel like such is the case here in Black Ops 6. I've been very vocal about this for a long time, that the maps just, I really do see what Treyarch were trying to do with this game and trying to make it like an action hero movie with the action just constantly going all the time. Better yet, a perfect example here is a map like Nuketown, a map that was made in 2010. Having this style of really cracked cracked out movement in Call of Duty, especially on the smaller maps, and the smaller maps by nature here in Black Ops 6, just makes everything feel over the top. In which I honestly want to say I really don't blame Treyarch for making the maps the way that they did in this game, not just with the mindset that they had for it, but I think it's really important to consider the fact that over the past couple of years in Call of Duty, everyone consistently all the time is like, oh my god, where is Nuketown? Where is Shipment 24/7? So I feel like they kind of got in the mindset that all we want is small maps, which obviously isn't exactly the case. I mean, we all have different tastes. I'm sure there's a lot of us that do just want the small maps in the game, but for a majority of Call of Duty players that have been playing for a very long time, we know the kind of maps that they have made in the past. We don't always need the smallest maps possible. I mean, yeah, we have Nuketown 24/7, and even now we have Stakeout 24/7 for those who want to play that. But clearly, overall in this game, it was a focus to have smaller maps, again, on top of the movement being insane. It almost kind of seems overwhelming to an extent with how fast and how cracked out the movement is. I'm really not trying to sound like a Call of Duty boomer, like, oh yeah, it was so much better in the old days, but really, like, the older maps, the older style of movement, it flowed a lot better. It really did. Had the whole jetpack era of Call of Duty, and I'm assuming now we're going to be in the Omni movement era for a little while, but this here is a very good staple change to the formula. A change, an adjustment, even like reverting the clock to an extent, just not having tag sprint. It works so much better for multiplayer, at least in my opinion. But I think what's also really nice about this is the fact that it also feels like Cold War. Like, one of the biggest things that I loved about Cold War was that it felt so much more traditionally like a Call of Duty multiplayer, besides like the score streak system in that game, but the way that game played just felt so much better than Modern Warfare 2019 at the time. And the thing is too, I really do hope that a lot of people actually give the Slipstream perk a chance just to see how it changes the multiplayer, see how it changes the flow and the feel of the multiplayer, and realizing that it's actually okay to not have tag sprinting all the time. Like, it can just be a Warzone thing. I feel like that was always one of my biggest things as well, was that, like, with the way that Warzone's been one of the main focuses of Call of Duty, which I get it, I totally do get it, but in saying that as well, it's also one of those things where it's like, Warzone can still be its own separate thing, the multiplayer can still be its own separate thing. I understand, like, bringing a lot of features and functions between both of the game modes, it just makes the experience more connected and not so jarring as far as, like, gameplay mechanics go when you're switching between one game mode to another. Also, on the real, we are getting absolutely dumpstered right now. We've been getting spawn trapped at sea all game, and yeah, no, alright. Just went through and added it to literally every single one of my classes. I have been needing this. I know I've already reiterated the point, but this is something, again, that I feel like Call of Duty can take a few steps back on, and by that, I mean just going back to a more traditional take on it. A more traditional take of Call of Duty gameplay and mechanics. Not having tag sprint, I feel like, is going to work out really well in the long run for Black Ops 6. At least, again, with all of the maps that we have right now in the game, a lot of them aren't super large maps where we really even need tag sprint. I don't know if this is just a COD boomer take or a super unpopular opinion, but I really do feel like this, again, is something that kind of further pushes the narrative of, we don't really need this in multiplayer a lot of the time. Warzone, sure. But that, again, also brings up the topic, again, of just dividing how Warzone and multiplayer play. I know why they're so similar, but I really do hope that, again, a lot of people actually give this perk a try just to see how it goes for them. I definitely think the pros outweigh the cons here in this regard in using Slipstream. You get a faster base sprint speed, and you get faster sprint to fire times of 100 milliseconds. It's so needed. It's so beneficial, and again, it's so needed on a lot of these maps in the game where you're having a lot of close quarter engagements a lot of the time. So it works really, really well. Or again, coming out of the slide right there, it's a lot more responsive. It also just feels a lot smoother too. Oh my god. Alright, yep, I threw that so hard right there. Especially, again, for sniping. I know it's kind of like muscle memory just to start sprinting again, and it's so much smoother to not have my gun flailing up in the air every single time I try to, like, sprint and reach chamber. I can just run around and play the game like it's old school Call of Duty. It's great. I should have collided that. Oh my god. I'm telling you, man, this is the perk to use. I'm sure I have, and I'm sure you guys get the point, but if I haven't already yapped about it enough, the sprint to fire buff is insane with it. Because the feeling of Black Ops 6, this isn't even just for sniping, this is just for reg gunning and just the way the game plays, but a lot of the time when you're, like, chaining the movements together with Omni movement, when you're not able to fire the weapon, and a lot of the time it just feels like the weapon isn't firing when we really want it to, and Slipstream's going to help out a lot with that. Well, even though I hit mark the shot, you guys still see that. The timing of coming right out of the sprint and being able to fire much faster as opposed to tag sprinting, so much better. Oh my god. Whoever that was popped the sleeper agent, and I honestly thought I was gonna shoot my teammate there for a second. I know I don't red gun super often, but the difference here is amazing. Honestly, close enough. Welcome back, Black Ops Cold War. Oh my god. I really can't get over it. I know I've said it a million times, but just use Slipstream. I'm telling you. I don't really want to be that guy and like over-project in saying this, but if a lot of people really start using this perk, see how good it is, or even if it were to become meta, I really do feel like this has the chance to completely change the way that people play BO6 multiplayer, and hopefully for the better. Overall, I just really wanted to change it for the better, and I really do think that this is a really positive thing to have in the game. Also, just in addressing a lot of the common complaints that people have had with this game. So with that all being said, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Again, here with the Shadow Hunt event, it's going to be going on for the next week. It's a super easy challenge to complete. Just get 5 melee kills. Absolutely worth getting and unlocking. Definitely the thing that's going to change the BO6 multiplayer the most. So whenever you guys do get it, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about it. I think that answers my question before I was even going to ask it. I was wondering if this was going to be in Warzone because I wanted to see if this would really change the way that even Warzone plays, but I don't know. I feel like tax printing is just ingrained into Warzone. But I'm just saying though, again, I really do feel like Warzone and multiplayer can be two separate things, have their own like foundational things about them, but still feel pretty similar as a part of the overall Call of Duty experience. I've definitely yapped far too much about this, but go ahead and let me know again what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. Go ahead and check it out. Thank you all so much for checking out this video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. It's been Rage, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care, everybody.